Hello.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
This is the ReVitalized Podcast. Great to be here. Great to see you. I hope you're having a lovely day. My name is Justyn.
And I'm Elle.
And we're a couple of health coaches that really want families to be healthy.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that today. That's what the show is all about. We're here talking about natural health, different ways that we can come together as a family, that we can get healthy, that our immune systems can get stronger, that we can live longer, that we can look better while we're doing it, and do it the way that God intended.
Absolutely.
Food and lifestyle and a bunch of stuff. I mean, there's so much data out there. We know that at least 80% of chronic conditions can be affected by our lifestyle decisions.
Yes.
And so we just think that every single person available, everyone out there, should know how to live a healthy life, how to live a longevity lifestyle. And that's what we bring the show for. That's what we try to do on the show today, is talk about how to be healthier.
Absolutely. And so we bring the people the knowledge and as many tips as we can. And in terms of accountability and actually helping people integrate this wisdom, integrate this knowledge. That's why we have our practice of coaching people and coaching families to integrate it well into their lives, because there can be a lot of complications that come up. A lot of people know that they shouldn't eat fast food because it's bad for their health. A lot of people know they should exercise, but sometimes we're unsure how to do that, especially when life is really, really busy. So, that's what we specialize in. And that's why we're great at, giving tips and talking more about this and how to help more families with this.
That's right. So today we've got a fun little episode planned for you guys. It's just Elle and I today, but we're going to be going over some questions around food, around nutrition, around diet. We got some news that Health Canada adjusted some of their regulations on vitamin D and milk.
Well, really, the deadline was recently. Yeah, it was recent.
And it's gonna be good. But first things first, it's a Monday. You guys already know what that means. I mean, maybe you don't because it's your first time watching, but you're gonna find out real quick, because we're gonna thank God for Monday. While everybody else is focused on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're all living for the weekend. We're not gonna subscribe to that kind of mentality, because life's a gift.
It is.
And if you're only excited every 2 days out of the week, that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks real hard. And so we're going to be grateful for the fact that we get to start another week. We get to live this awesome life, that we get to be with our families. We get to pursue our dreams. We get to continue to grow healthier, grow wiser, become more successful, smile, live in a country with freedom. I mean, the fact that you're watching this podcast right now means that you're doing better than millions of people all across the globe. And we got to be grateful for it, because gratitude, it's a flipping superpower. It absolutely is. And for today, for example, one of the things I was thinking about this morning, actually, and if you guys don't know anything about Canada, one of the stereotypes that is absolutely true is the fact that it snows a lot. When it snows hard. And then, of course, we all get moose to ride and everything like that. When we turn 13,
build our
that's
igloos and everything.
That's right. And, we all grow up on maple syrup. But the idea is that it does snow a lot. And most people, they're not wired to go the gratitude route automatically. They're wired to go to the pessimistic route, to go to the negativity route, that type of thing. But we've put a lot of work into making sure our minds are programmed for optimism, not pessimism. And I got a cool story to show that has been working. It shows, because a few days ago, I was driving, I was on the road. A snowstorm was hitting real bad. Everyone was going super, super, super slow. And most of the time, I think our natural reactions to that would just be, oh man, I'm stuck in traffic and it's snowing and I can't do this and I can't do that and I'm getting late for work, blah, 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 blah. And I could have thought all those things. But one of the things that I thought was really cool is that I didn't think those things at all. Actually, my first thought was a reminder that we just freshly replaced our snow tires and the roads were good. I'm driving in a vehicle with heat. My butt was warm. I mean, how many people have had a car without heat, without AC?
Yeah, throughout history.
Like there have been people that have died in the cold, trapped in their car in the middle of winter. And I'm sitting there thinking I have a right to complain because my butt's not toasty enough. Are you kidding me? Any hoozle. So I'm sitting there, bumper to bumper traffic, blizzard, snow, and I'm realizing, wow, this isn't that bad. Like, this is awesome. I have awesome snow tires. I got a very reliable vehicle. I got a hot wife waiting for me at home. Life's freaking great. Life's really good. And while most people would get upset about a snowstorm, get upset about traffic, somehow, because of the stuff that we've been teaching ourselves and the things that we've been working on for our own minds, because again, if you want to be a good coach, you got to practice what you preach.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that I was actually happy and I was excited and I started laughing about how awesome it is that even though I'm stuck in the snowstorm, I'm stuck in some of the best conditions that I could be in that storm possible.
It's true.
And it was great. It's awesome. And so, if you're watching the podcast this morning, which we're hoping you are, because we love you guys. We love you tuning in. We love you guys watching live. Just be grateful. Even if you're in Canada right now with another fresh, probably 6 or 7 inches of snow in the last 2 days, on top of the bunch we got the last week and a half, life is good. Life is so good. Do not let your heart and your mind be so fragile that something as unpredictable and unimportant as the weather will change it. Absolutely. Take away your smile, take away your laughter, take away your joy. Don't let you have these seasonal blues. Just because the sun's not out and you can't get a tan on doesn't mean we should treat people differently. Doesn't mean you shouldn't smile at your kids in the morning. Doesn't mean that you need morning coffee just to be happy, because that's not true. And if that is the facts right now, then that's something that we got to work on. And it's probably a reason why you're watching the podcast, because you want to figure out how the heck do I stop letting this little brown cup of bean water
be my only
completely
source of joy,
dictate my happiness.
Don't get me wrong, like coffee is great. I love the taste of it. I usually like to drink it black if I do drink it at all. But I love showing that off. That's like the only thing I brag about.
That's true. How do you drink your coffee? Black. That's right.
Because it was just because most people, they put so much sugar and other like stuff in it. So that's I'm true. Like, that's yeah, true. I'm like,
it's not even coffee. Original. It's just basically cream sugar water that's brown. But anyway, just being grateful. Sure. Guys, absolutely. It's the start to an amazing week.
It really
You can
is.
make this week anything that you want it to be. You can do so much. You can accomplish so much. Life can be so good if you can just get your mind in a good spot. If you can win the battle up here, you can win the battle out there. And that sounds cliche and that sounds super cheesy.
But it's true.
But who doesn't like cheese? Most people like cheese.
That's
so
true.
If it's cheesy, it's not a bad thing.
I would hope so, honestly. One thing that's always like I do hope people like cheese. Yeah,
that's because you're French. That's what it is.
Le fromage. Anyways, right. One thing that I've always really appreciated is that even if you have a really bad day, a day can always be saved.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can, yeah, sure, this didn't go right. This didn't happen the way I wanted to, but at the end of the day, you can have it changed. You can have it turn around. And just that knowing that you have that ability to do that through the power of gratitude is so cool. You can have those moments. You can have that hour, those couple hours or something like that to spend time with someone you love and just be like, you know what? Today wasn't so great, but let's do something fun. Yeah. Let's just spend time together.
Let's make it a great day anyway.
Let's make it a great day anyway.
Simply because we choose to.
Exactly, because we have the ability to do that. We don't have to have every single day be a crappy day.
That's right.
Like it doesn't have to be that way.
And again, it sounds cliche. It sounds cheesy.
Like, it's just rainbows and sunshine.
Too good to be true.
It's actually, it's in, it's speaking from experience of going through hard things. And in order to get through it, you have to be able to have that skill and have that mental resilience to be able to pull through anyways, to have a good day anyways.
That's right.
How strong is that? And you can be strong. Why would you want to be weak when you can be strong?
I mean, how many of us have just been upset for no reason?
Mm-hmm.
Probably all of us, if being honest with everybody.
All of us.
Right? If we can be upset for no reason, why can't we just be happy for no reason? Why do we need a ticket to Disneyland to smile? Why do we need some new exciting thing? Why do we need a dopamine hit from Instagram likes?
And
why can't we just realize it's a choice?
Doing it because you want to is enough.
That's right.
You want to have a good day? Okay, have one.
Exactly.
It's your perspective.
Exactly.
It's your mind.
Exactly. That's right. Doesn't mean that problems don't exist. Doesn't mean that negativity isn't out there in the world. It just means that you are going to be a better version of yourself when you come against it and you're trying to face it.
Yes.
You're going to problem solve. You're trying to work through it. You're going to do better because you're in a better mindset. You are, in that moment, a better person. You think more creatively. You handle stress better. You don't feel so discouraged. You have more drive. You have more motivation. You're not going to give up and quit quite as easily. And so it just means that those problems aren't quite as bad as they need to be.
Yeah, true.
Because you can fix them better, right? So anyway, It's Monday. We're going to thank God it's Monday. We're going to keep thanking God for every Monday that we get.
Praise the
because Mondays are awesome. Way, way, way better than Fridays. Anyways, so if we go into a little bit of news here, came down from the tip top of the maple syrup government up here. They made some adjustments to the food regulations, particularly vitamin D, a few years ago, right? Back in 2022.
They started the process, and today we were going to talk about
and the deadline came a calling.
Yes, exactly.
So some changes are being made.
So in Canadian milk now, they have increased the amount of fortified vitamin D in it.
Right.
And so it's increased by nearly double the amount of micrograms.
They increased the cholesterol from sheep's wax in our milk, if we call it like it is, because that's where vitamin D comes from. That's how they make it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Sheep's wax?
Yeah.
What?
You absolutely know that.
Oh, I don't know. You probably told me before. I totally forgot about that. They
shear sheep. They take the wool. There's this waxy stuff on the wool called like lanolin, something like that. And then they synthesize it in the sun, and cholesterol on the sheep's wool converts to vitamin D, and then they take that vitamin D and they put it in cow's milk.
Well, that sounds pretty natural, but don't they use a? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they use.
Yes, we will add some sheep's wool to their milk.
I'm not sure if they use a. Isn't there like plant-based vitamin D?
There is,
but I'm not sure which one they use for this.
That's the cheaper stuff.
Oh, okay.
But also, regardless whether they're using the sheep vitamin D or the mushroom vitamin D, it bears the question: why do we need to fortify our food? And if there is a need for it now, why wasn't there a need throughout all of human history?
Yeah. So of course, okay. No, keep finishing.
No, because people have been drinking milk for a long time, right? A long, long, long time, and we've been keeping records as a species for like 2,000 years. Why is it that if we go back like more than
over 2,000 years, but keep going,
a couple hundred years ago, why are there no records of cancer? Why are there no records of all these chronic conditions that everybody has today? I mean, we have records of leprosy, right? We have records of wars. We have records of kingdoms and kings and royal families. So we knew how to do that kind of stuff. But for some reason, it seems to be a modern thing. And if we have to fortify all of our foods, all of our cereals, all of our milks, if we have to fortify our yogurts, if we have to add all this extra stuff, then how the heck is the stuff that we're adding this stuff to been enough stuff to support the human species for all these years before we could have added anything to it? How come we all didn't die off? Why did everybody not just break all their bones because of a lack of vitamin D and calcium?
So obviously there's been a lot of different disease over human history. One of the biggest reasons though that they have to, or they are telling us that they have to fortify our milk, is to try to get people back to at least a decently regular baseline of vitamin D, because usually it's very low. It's very low all around the world in a lot of different areas. But obviously northern countries, we can be, more guilty of that, staying inside because it's cold, just like Justyn was saying earlier. But the point being though is vitamin D is not naturally found in milk. And so there has to be a different way for us to make sure we do it, because the fortification is not enough to substitute how much you actually need, right? Even if it was like completely
it's good, just maybe enough to help you survive.
It's maybe enough to help you survive. And on top of that too, that doesn't even necessarily even mean that your body's able to fully use it. Because remember, there's intaking vitamin D and then there's metabolizing it. There's actually putting it to use.
That's right.
And sometimes when we test, in like when people do different blood tests and different things like this, they can test for good amounts. Oh, your labs are normal, right? Oh, you have enough of this in your blood. You have enough of this.
Normal?
What defines normal?
What's the metric we're using? Is that everybody else who's also sick and also aging way too fast and also having tons and tons and tons of health problems?
And also, what are the results of, even despite what your labs are saying, what are the results in your actual real life? Are you having evidence that you are getting enough vitamin D?
Right.
And the reality is, even if this was the most perfect vitamin D that they were fortifying the milk with, even if your body was fully able to metabolize it, and that's also like an if based on different people, based on the sourcing that they're using, based on, your lifestyle and stuff, at the end of the day, it's actually not enough. Like the amount that they're putting in the milk is not enough. So because it comes down to, like when I was saying like lifestyle, how much milk you actually drink.
Right.
So,
and not just that,
yeah,
assuming that your body can digest fats well, because
yes,
you need the fat in order to break down and absorb the vitamin D in the milk.
Yeah.
Not just that, but also assuming, what about people who are lactose intolerant, which is going up and up and up and up and up and up and up like a skyrocket lately.
Not just that too, but also assuming that people are not running too high on chronic stress, which gets in the way of people even being able, of the body even being able to use vitamin D.
That's
because
right.
vitamin D is very sensitive to chronic stress.
And I don't know if there's anybody out there
the enzymes that metabolize vitamin D are very sensitive to chronic stress. Keep going.
That's right. And I don't know if there's anybody out there that's got better info than us. Feel free to send it over. We'd love to see it. But I have yet, anyway, to see a study comparing the effects of natural sun-synthesized vitamin D on the cholesterol in our skin and how that works with our hormones and all these kinds of things, compared to the way that fortified vitamin D, even the vitamin D3 that comes from the sheep and all this kind of stuff, which they say is the most natural comparison and it's chemically identical and yada yada yada. But how does that compare with the winter months, and how does that synthesize with how our melatonin works when vitamin D levels are naturally lower because the sun isn't there? Because one of the things we know about vitamin D that you get from the sun is that it can work as a cofactor with melatonin, and melatonin can take up a lot of the jobs that vitamin D has when vitamin D levels are low, and they have a symbiotic relationship where those levels can work together.
It's not a replacement, but it's something that can help our bodies not burn through the use of vitamin D as quickly.
Exactly. But has anybody tested or studied to see how the relationship between naturally formed melatonin and fortified vitamin D work? I don't know. I mean, it's a different absorption in the body. I mean, it's getting in totally differently. It's not done through our skin. It's done through digestion. So there's a lot of other factors that could affect how our body can use the vitamin D if there's digestive issues versus if you're just spending more time in the sun. Questions. A lot of questions.
And on top of that too, a lot of milk can be homogenized too, not just pasteurized.
That's right.
And so that's like when they really cook it. Like pasteurization is like, hey, let's cook it for a bit, make sure we kill any excess bacteria, that kind of idea. Usually they do more than that. But point being though, that's pretty much regular pasteurization. It's usually around half an hour, and then maybe they do a little bit more. Homogenization is when they really heat it up.
Right. And but again, whether somebody's for or against fortifying the foods, even maybe particular nutrients, some people are more for, more against particular foods, people are more for, more against. Either way, all that stuff, opinions, that's fine, but it doesn't really answer the question. Is that if we didn't have the ability to fortify our foods before, because we didn't have the technology, we didn't have the labs, we didn't have the ability to synthesize chemicals like we do now, and to create all these synthetic versions of nutrients and vitamins and hormones and minerals and all these things, how did people survive all these thousands of years? And because we know that they did, because we're here, then is there an alternative? Is there something else that we could be doing or should be doing instead of fortifying foods to make those foods naturally more abundant in minerals, maybe make our digestive systems better at using those minerals so we don't need quite so high artificial levels?
Yes.
Because again, if this problem of people being nutrient deficient has been around forever, and we found a way to deal with it before we had the technology, then there are other ways of doing it that don't have negatives, that don't have downsides. And of course, not everything's perfect. And there's been a lot of people that have suffered throughout history with malnutrition and famines and all these kinds of things. And we're not trying to ignore history here. We're just saying that there seems to be a really big push over these last couple decades trying to say that the solutions we've come up with now are the only solutions that will work, and they're the only ways that there can be done. And we need them because the dark ages happened, And because the dark ages happened, we don't want the dark ages to happen again. And so now we got to put extra vitamin C and extra vitamin D in our cereals and extra iron in our cereals and extra stuff in our breads and extra vitamin D in our milks now, because we don't want to go back to the dark ages because everybody was starving and all their teeth were crooked and everybody talked weird and they had weird accents and they just had duels all the time and knights were replaced the police, and we can't let that happen again. And so we have to put all these synthetic versions of the nutrients that we could just get from food in the food that everybody's eating, because everybody's not eating real food anymore. And the real food they are eating has been so depleted of actual nutrition because of terrible industrial farming practices and all these crazy things that we've been doing to mass produce everything.
Like depleting the soil and different things like this.
Exactly. And all that we're saying today is just, is that true? Is adding synthetic vitamin D made from the wool of sheeps to cow's milk that's pasteurized and probably homogenized and then sold in cheap plastic containers at Walmart, is that the best way to fix the vitamin D problem and prevent rickets?
Probably not. And other symptoms.
We're just saying, are there any other solutions out there? And if there are, why is nobody talking about them?
And on top of this too, we could look at this, right? And we could be like, oh, that's nice. That's something good. Things like this are good short term. But what Justyn was kind of getting at, what we're both getting at, is when this is the response, right? Then a lot of the culture follows suit with it, where it's like, oh, that is the solution. Oh, we can't do anything about it. Oh, we're not talking about the different things that we can be doing, right? Instead of it being like, hey, people, make sure you get outside. Instead, it's more like, hey, people, make sure you drink milk, because now you're fine and you can just drink milk from Walmart. Now, again, there is less sun in the colder months, obviously. We know that. So again, there's different ways to do this. And we know that there has to be
vitamin D loading is awesome.
Yes, absolutely. So we can go into that, another time. We're closing up on some questions here, or closing up on some time here, and we'll have to get into specific questions. But the point being is that there is a way to be a human being and live in this world while being healthy without relying on a Band-Aid approach method that the government came up with. And so nothing against anyone, even particularly, but if we ourselves want to have health freedom, want to have freedom in our health, then we have to take responsibility for our own health. We can't put it on this person to solve or that person to solve or something like this. No, we have to have it figured out.
That's right.
Put the responsibility on yourself. And then take ownership of your own body. You have to learn what you have to learn in order to take care of yourself, in order to be a good steward of this beautiful body God made you. And so if we don't do that, then we're left with the decision that everyone else has been conditioned to make, which is just to rely on any food that's available in the grocery store. And that's
unfortunately most of the food in the grocery stores, it's not food.
It's isn't
food-like products.
It isn't. And you know what? If you're an adult, you know this. You know better. You have seen that there is junk in the grocery stores. There just is. There's food that is food-like products that are not healthy for us.
I mean, if there's a health food section, what is all the other food that's not in the health food section?
Exactly.
Why do we have to have a section for healthy food? Shouldn't all food just generally be healthy? And if we live in a world, in a system where the majority of the food is not healthy, then how can we blindly assume that the standards and the regulations and the industry around that system is 100% right 100% of the time? And if we can assume that it's not 100% right 100% of the time, then we should probably, like Elle's saying, take a little bit more health responsibility so we can actually be healthy. Just questions.
What if I told you that eating healthy was eating normally?
You can take the blueberry or the blueberry gummy.
No, or the strawberry flavored candy.
That's right.
This choice is yours.
That's right.
No, which one was the one that he needed to take for the truth? Was it the red or the blue? Wasn't it the red?
Pill,
the red?
Pill.
Okay,
Yeah.
Then switch those.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
take
right.
the raspberry or take the blueberry gum.
That's right.
Like blueberry flavored gum.
Exactly. Anyway, just questions,
just
questions. And it's just things to think about, things to sort out. And again, if we don't want to just blindly depend on an institution or an industry to have our own personal best interest at heart, the next best person to trust to have our best interest at heart is ourselves and the people around us that love us and care about us. And so we're just saying that we think people should focus more on educating themselves around what they can be in control of, what they can do in their own lifestyle, in their own day-to-day, in their own nutrition, in their own exercise, their own health. And from there, make decisions that you can't control. If you've done everything you can to increase your vitamin D levels on your own, then you should go seek some professional help, and you should try to figure all these things out and prevent emergencies. Make sure that you're as healthy as you possibly can be. But avoiding the responsible part of that and just jumping straight to the Band-Aid solution, the quick fix, the easy thing on paper, is what most people do. And chronic health, chronic sickness, chronic conditions is skyrocketing with most people. So maybe we shouldn't do that.
So, it's just really also remember that when there's been different regulations like, hey, increase this or have at least this amount, that's for the general population. That's not going to be for you specifically as an individual.
Exactly.
And it's also not going to guarantee like total complete health. If anything, it's trying to avoid like things being really, 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 really bad. Like it's trying to get like to a moderate basic baseline.
Most of these regulations are to help people survive, not starve, and to live, not necessarily to be healthy or to avoid sickness or to live as long as possible. It's just nobody wants you to die of starvation.
Yeah, right? And we want to, but we also want that, but we want you to live life to the fullest.
Exactly.
And living life to the fullest is
There's a
not
big difference between starving and full.
Yeah.
And we want people to be somewhere on the top half of that where things are good, not terrible. But okay. So again, just should we fortify foods? Is there a need for supplements? Do we have to take all of this stuff that's being pushed on us? If we do, why? If that answer doesn't apply to the human race, is there a different answer? If that answer doesn't apply and solve the problems of people before we had all this technology that still somehow found a way to survive and still somehow found a way to have healthy children and to grow villages and to build towns, conquer nations, what were they doing? Why did it work? What are we doing? Why does it work or not work? And we can start to get somewhere closer to an answer. But it doesn't just have to be the blanket assumption that every regulation is always right for every person. It could be perfect for somebody. Doesn't guarantee it's perfect for you or me or you watching. And so that's all we're saying. Is there a better way to get vitamin D than drinking fortified milk?
Yes.
That's all. All right. So
okay, let's go into some Q&A.
That's right. So let's go into some Q&A. So first and foremost, could fortified foods mask underlying absorption problems?
That's a very good question.
Very good question. Very simple answer. Yes.
Yeah, I was just
next question. Let's move on. No. It's and this is a thing.
But you just said yes. Why are you saying no?
This is a thing that comes up with supplements a lot.
Yes.
A lot of people will use supplements, even natural supplements, even really, really, really good supplements.
They
will use those as a way to mask problems that they're having internally. And they just continue to take more and more and more supplements because the supplements sort of help them pull out of the hole that the malabsorption has caused, that the dysfunction has caused, that the chronic condition has caused, that the autoimmune condition has caused. And they use the supplement as a way to pull their body out of the hole that was created because of the sickness. But they don't actually make any changes in order to support their body to heal. They just keep themselves above water because they're popping multivitamins and multiminerals and protein powders and injections and liquids and tonics and remedies and all these crazy things. And a lot of it can be good. All of it can be good. But if that's not paired also with a change and something to stop causing the problem, it's not going to fix it. And so it's like you get the punch in the face, and instead of not getting punched in the face again, you put on the helmet. And so the punch hurts less, but you still are going to get a hit. Why? And that's most people when they're talking about supplements, when they're talking about medications, when they're talking about surgeries, when they're talking about hiring fancy schmancy naturopaths and chiropractors and all these kinds of things. Most of this stuff that people do is built to treat these problems, not correct or prevent the problems. And so that's why, you know, one of the things that makes us successful with the people we work with is that we actually look at a person's health history, their lifestyle history, not just physical stuff, not just medical emergency stuff, also mental stuff, also scheduling stuff, sleep habits, different things like that.
Did they have any changes happen when they did start this supplement?
Exactly.
Because you should be able to notice the difference.
If you're spending $75 on a bottle, you should be able to tell where that $75 is going. Side note. And so we help people to actually course correct and change the things that happened in their life that could have caused that problem and undo it. So that way, if they do take a supplement, it works a lot better because they stop punching themselves in the face and we have no need for a helmet. And so you could just have a great head of hair and no black eye. And it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's really good.
It's really good.
To be able to see really because your eyes are not swollen, because you don't get a punch in the face, and you can show off the great hair because the helmet's not covering the top half of your head. It's a good thing. And so, absolutely, can fortified foods mask underlying absorption issues? Yeah. Because if you need a supplement, if you need fortification, if the stuff you're doing in your day-to-day life, especially when it comes to food, because nutrition's generally really, really easy. It can be complicated and you can get super complex with it, but if you just want to keep things simple, it's as simple as simple does. And so it shouldn't have to be rocket science in order just to make sure your body's got enough minerals and protein and you're not eating too many calories and not having too much sugar and everything's, you know, relatively normal. But if those problems are there and they're not being corrected and people put a Band-Aid on it, then it gives them this false sense of security that things are better. But then eventually the dose doesn't work. You got to go up to the next thing. Eventually the pill stops working and you got to go to the next pill. You got to add a second pill. Eventually the powder doesn't quite do what the powder is supposed to do. And you got to add a third powder with the 2 pills. And you're taking 5 things and you go from 1 thing to 5 things. And you thought you were going to only be spending $60, but now you're spending $500 because you added on 14 extra things. And that's not exactly how math works. I added up things wrong, but you get the idea. And if we can just, again, kind of go a layer underneath and ask, why did that happen? Why does a person have an iron deficiency? Why does somebody have a vitamin D deficiency? What could have caused their inflammation to be so high?
Yeah.
And instead of just adding an anti-inflammatory or adding in an iron supplement or a mineral injection, is there something we can do to help stop what caused that in the first place? And see if that fixes it, or at least pair that with a quick fix, with a supplement, with a medication, with a whatever. So that way we're not just dependent on the thing that we're doing now. We can actually fix it long term so that we don't need the helmet anymore.
Overall,
because we learned how to dodge and block and everything's good. And we can go to a boxing match and not get knocked out.
Overall, we have to have our lifestyle. Supplements are not a crutch.
That's right.
They're meant to assist.
They are tools.
Yes.
But just like any good craftsman, they make the tools good. The tools don't make them good, right? You can put the most expensive hammer in the world in a child's hand who's never put in a nail before. He's probably not going to build you a great house. You can give a excellent craftsman a freaking rock off the sidewalk, and he can do a better job than an untrained person with the best tools can. So they're tools, and we're supposed to use them as tools. And we're supposed to learn how to use them efficiently and use them well. But they're not supposed to be everything our health is dependent on. That's just, I mean, what happens if an order gets backed up? What happens if the money runs out? What happens if somebody has an issue and all of a sudden the progress ends? You know, we got to learn how to make fire, not just dump gasoline on wood, right?
Yes, very important.
Okay.
Very important.
Next question, baby.
Okay, is milk still a health food?
Definitely can be.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely can
absolutely,
be for sure.
It can
We're
be.
huge fans of milk.
We love milk. I had
when
some milk
it's
before we came on the podcast.
when it's good milk.
Yes.
When it's coming from a healthy cow.
Healthy cows are really, really, really important.
That's right.
The stuff we get commercially, I'm sorry, you guys, if you ever want to know for sure and not just, hear like some information on a random podcast from two people in Canada, go check out where, like a dairy farm,
right,
where it's like commercially set up.
If you can even get on.
Or look up some videos and stuff, the way that they milk cows with machines, and you tell me if that's a healthy, happy cow that you should be like intaking the products from.
But milk absolutely can be a legitimate superfood. Milk can rival any powder from any remote part of the world ever sold online. It's awesome, but it can also be real bad, and it can also cause lots of sickness if there's sickness in the milk, because there was sickness in the cow and the cow was milked.
Yes.
And so, some good general rules. We always avoid homogenized milk.
Yes.
Like the plague. Just there's no reason for us to ever drink that. We will never do it. There's no benefit to us. There's only risk. And so why would we take a net negative for our health? If you can somehow make a relationship with the people that are handling and treating those cows, that's your best bet to finding the highest quality that you can, because if they're going to dedicate their life privately to raising a cow, and they don't have some contract with McDonald's to supply the dairy for all their ice cream machines, they're doing that out of passion. They're doing it because they love what they do. They're doing it because it's a family thing, a generational thing. And so befriend a local farmer, befriend a local rancher, befriend a local meat guy, a dairy guy, a gardening guy,
a chicken guy,
an electrician, a lawyer. Like, you got to know some people. And a good dairy guy is one of the best people to know. And if you get good quality milk, it can absolutely be huge. I mean, we've had people who their digestive issues are so messed up, their health is so messed up, that literally good quality milk, raw milk, has saved their life, because it's all they could eat. It's all they could get fed off of, and nutrition from, and protein from, and it kept them going. Their bodies survived basically on milk and water until we had enough time to rebuild their situation. And so everything's good. But yeah, milk can be awesome, but there's also a reason why lactose intolerance is skyrocketing over the last few decades, and why so many people do not do well on milk. Why they get sick a lot when they drink a lot of milk. They get lots of mucus buildup. They get lots of inflammation when they drink a lot of milk. They get lots of real bad gas and other stuff that comes out the what when they drink tons of milk. And it's because the milk is not healthy. It's not the same milk that we would have drank 200 years ago.
That people lived on. People lived on milk for a really long time, because it was something that gave you quick calories. It's something that had good fat and some good protein in there too. And it's full of great nutrients.
That's right.
But again, if you're not getting it from a good source, and it's not processed in a healthy way where you can digest it efficiently, then what's the point of eating it or consuming it? That's the same idea as every other type of food, though. As a vegetable, as a meat, if it's not from a good source, if it's not processed efficiently or prepared efficiently, in a way where your body can digest it, and if your system is not efficient in a way where it can even digest protein effectively, digest milk effectively, or digest really any of these foods that you could have problems with, because it's not even necessarily what you're eating, but the way that your body is dealing with that food. You have to look at all of those aspects in order to make sure that you're getting the full bang from your buck.
That's right.
Right? Like when it comes to consuming whole foods, including milk.
Right. Okay, we got one last question, and then we'll wrap it up here. Baby, what do you think is the biggest digestion myth that people believe?
Biggest digestion myth. Believing that you just have, if you have digestive issues, you just have digestive issues and there's nothing you can do about it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. That is the biggest piece of hootenanny, of false misinformation ever.
Think about it in this way, right? What if I just told someone, oh, well, if you have anxiety or if you have depression, I guess there's just nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no way you can help it. There's no way you can improve it. You'll always be stuck with it.
There are a lot of people told that.
There are a lot of people told that.
Could not be further from the truth. That is completely wrong.
But if that was true, how come so many other people have been able to overcome that?
Exactly.
And sure, maybe there's like, oh, well, what about this? Or what about that? Or what about this? Right. There's not going to be a perfect situation every time. Some people have been through a lot of really hard things, including physically too, like with their digestive system. For example, having an organ removed, which can be definitely a different case in a lot of ways, but that does not mean it can't be improved. That's at least.
That's right.
Respectfully.
A super simple way to answer that is just throughout all of history, has there been another person with the same problem that you have, maybe even to a worse degree, that fixed it? If the answer is yes, why could they and why can't you? The answer to that is probably not a good answer, because you can. Almost every single time you can. There might not be every single person. Like Elle was saying, there's our extreme conditions where, hey, just, we have to live differently now. But there is no problem we've ever seen. And again, we've seen some people that literally couldn't do anything other than milk and water. They can improve.
Yes.
If they can improve, you can improve too.
Yes.
Period. End of story. That's just it.
If you're still breathing, your story isn't over yet.
That's right.
There's still
absolutely
hope.
Absolutely. And if you're stuck with something for a long time, making that thing you're stuck with the best that it could possibly be, that's still great. It's not as great as fixing it completely. But again, going back to the beginning of the stream, why not just choose better? Why not choose good? Why not choose to smile? Why not choose to be happy?
Why not live life to the fullest?
That's right. It's like, listen, my hand will be better if I had all 5 fingers. But if I missed 2 fingers, I still got 3. And it would be better if I had 5. But just because I got 3 doesn't mean I'm never going to use my hand again. Right? I'm still going to use this hand as best as I possibly can, even if I only got 3 fingers. And if we just had that mentality with a lot of other stuff, with health issues, with debt, with marital problems, with rebellious teenagers, we'd be a lot better at fixing the things that are causing us so much stress and so much trouble and so much anguish. And long story short, we'd be drinking healthier milk. Anyways, I'm passionate about milk. Okay. Guys, we got to roll. You guys got to roll. You got a busy day. It's Monday. It's the start to a phenomenal week.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching so much. We appreciate it. Hopefully this episode was good. If you guys got something good from it, give us a like. If you got nothing good from it at all, give us a dislike. I mean, we definitely earned that one. If there's something in here that helped you, share it with somebody else that you think it can help too. We appreciate it. You guys sharing the show, helping us get the word out there that putting your family first, making your health a massive priority, having faith and hope and unadulterated, unshaking faith that your family can be really, really, really healthy again is a better way to think than a lot of the other stuff we've been taught to do.
True.
Then help us get the word out. We appreciate you guys a ton. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, whatever else the YouTubers say you're supposed to do. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right,
everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great day, guys.